Hey, good evening, and here's another episode of the Markets Roundup. Today's the 6th of October, 2025. So I'm just going to quickly share my screen here and see how the day went. Let's discuss this. Right. Started off with Chinese stuff. Okay. Right now, it's a great. It's an interesting day of the market today, actually. And again, we are still pushing all-time high. Market saying no fear, we keep going. I think there's still very, yeah, as you can see here, there's still a lot of flows, which tops all-time high now. And we've God knows how many all-time highs we've seen. So daily flows, the Qs tops the list for flows in the market. So yeah, there's still quite a lot of money flow or flowing in, and we just keep punching and pushing all-time high. So that's literally how today started. Um, I think also if you look at the dollar, it's quite strange actually, because of course, when the dollar goes down, of course, stocks stocks go up. So the dollar has been on, yeah, a little bit of a gain today, not much. So I think that affected the general breadth of the market. And but of course, the market is still up at the same time. But if this is going up and both of them are going up at the same time, then of course you got to understand that that means inflation. I'm getting an alert somewhere here on GBJ. Yeah, GJ. So again, this is actually strange. I think it was overnight on Sunday, the yen, which is known for its stability, all of a sudden, I think we started seeing quite a lot of action. This is something I've been monitoring. I haven't actually played this, but I have been monitoring it for the time being, and it just looks like it's on its way going up to I think way over 200. I think I'm not going to bet against this at all, actually, because I've been monitoring it for a while now and it's on the journey. So if at all, I'm actually bullish GP against Japanese yen. So that's on another side. I think the Japanese yen used to be known as the stable currency where we or people tend to put money, but right now things change. I think since 2021, a lot has changed. Also, I think quantum got a lot of buzz over the weekend, and and I think the key points are here is that the valuation does not justify what they are going for right now. But one thing is we're not going to have to get over ourselves. You want to, I mean, the market goes up or down or sideways. You want to know if you think it's a short, you want to know the exact time to get in. I was particular about this one here, QUBT. But what happened today, I think we saw a huge collapse on QUBT earlier today, and he did a we had a we had a huge 10%. I think it was about 14%, and he regained a bit of strength. But I think still long term, this is for me anyway. It's still I'm still calling a shot on this, but we just need to get the timing right. But I did say some of them are still very strong, and if we look at QUBT, for example, some of them are still quite strong, and QUBT he just kept on pushing the strength in today. And of course, if also we will be some, sorry, QBTS, apologize. And if we're gonna get a rate cut, uh, in a few days' time, at some point this month, then again, we expect the money flow to just keep pumping this higher and higher and higher. But we know how this game goes. Okay, you just don't sleep on the wheel, which is what I say. And a few of them, they all still went on. The market can remain irrational longer than you can remain solvent. So you don't just throw money or spray and pray. You want to be very scientific before you make your entry. You want to be very methodical. Also, I think there's a data here which talked about the 50% of consumer spending, which is now coming from 50% of consumer spending, which is now coming from the 5% in income. So we're talking about the top 20% of income earners. They account for 50% of consumer spending, which is about $130,000 range plus. It's not actually a fair world. People say life is unfair, but I think that just talks about the imbalance in the market. So that's something, we've been talking about this bull market. Is it a bubble? Is it not a bubble? And something which I've been talking about if we talk about it, for example, what happened? We had AMD today. Wow, what an amazing move, AMD. I think he ran up 36% at some point. And what happened here? They had a collaboration with OpenAI, and the CEO says, and of course, he expects the deal to be highly accretive to revenue growth and earnings, yeah, based on the conference call. So this is just amazing. There's a bit of a lag with, okay, trading view. Look at that, pushed all-time high. That was a great, amazing run. Can't bet against this at all. That was amazing. Okay. So one thing I keep talking about is, are we going to get an infrastructure overload whereby we have more work? But again, people say AI is building, and there's quite a lot of stories around this. But what I always say is, as long as the story is hot, look, if the story is hot, the play is hot. We can't bet against it at all. But we shall see. We had the dot-com, we had blockchain, now it's AI. And again, what people usually say is, this time it's different. You know what they say? History always repeats. Oh, history never repeats, but it rhymes. Um, Also, gold. I mean, in the midst of all these things, how come? And I keep asking people, but gold is still going up. Gold is telling you something. Okay. So if gold is going up, then of course you can't just slip on the wheel. You know, I'm going to put some rules there. Look, we've been talking about gold almost every day, and gold is almost about pushing 4,000. And I think as of last year, there's been do not bet against gold at 5,000, and that's been right there. So I saw, I mean, generally, stocks tend to beat inflation, literally, but again, because stocks always tend to beat inflation because stocks are nominal. But one thing, I saw a funny quote today, which was the boomers got gold, the Gen X got Bitcoin, while the Gen Z they got stock holding the bag, holding the bag. But actually, someone said, "What counter?" But maybe the Gen Z's got AI. Okay, the AI. So whatever they're going to leave for the next generation, we'll be here to see. But then again, we haven't seen this AI play out. I think there's a lot going on. And again, just a few things I'm gonna talk about OpenAI for a few seconds, really. Let's just quickly look at Oracle. Right. So Oracle, they had a deal with OpenAI, and this is actually interesting. Do we think this is a pack of cards? Oracle went all-time high, consolidated a little bit, but the deal just feels so great. Even I thought, you know what, I can bet on this right from above where it is right now. But again, we shall see. We don't know. Do they have this money they are spending? I honestly do not know. So I believe the cracks will show at some point. We have AMD, they had a deal with OpenAI. Again, this is not the money they can afford to spend, so we don't have the power for it right now, but we'll soon start hitting that wall. Electric bills, seeing the premium, everyone pays for AI no matter what. I think that was a comment I made earlier today. Also, I said AI is growing, AI adoption is growing, but the spending the spending is going, sorry, AI adoption is not growing, but the spending is going parabolic. So we've seen AI adoption. We haven't seen the effects yet right now. Yes, of course, the market leads while the economy lags. But at the same time, the spending is just parabolic, but the adoption is like a trickle down effect. So that's something which a comment which I made. And I don't understand how OpenAI, which is not profitable yet, how they're going to pay for all these partnerships and investment is going all around. So something you've got to pay attention to when you are, making your investment. If you remember, Volcker, he raised interest rates to 20% in 1981 just to prevent stagflation or to stop it, really. So, do we think this might happen in 2026? This market's just, personally, I think it's just a bubble and it's constipated. At some point, something will give. Um, we shall see. I mean, the key rule, which is something I might leave you with today, is that don't forget rule number one, which is nothing is wrong with panicking as long as you are the first to panic. So that's fine. Nothing is wrong with that. But the rule number two, sell when you can, not when you have to. Or what I say is greed keeps you in, but pain gets you out. So when you are in a great, good position. I think it's time to get out sometimes. Let's look at some of these plays that we had and let's see how. We had earnings today, AEHR systems, and how did it play? I think that was a I didn't pay attention to the real earnings, but this has a it has a how do I call it? I forgot the word now. Okay, of always flopping at the earnings. So now again, it's just gone down. We thought there was another FUD, with with app loving. Again, that was another disaster. Well, let's just see how that goes. And boom, I think that even happened way before the market closed. We had a 14% down or turn down, and then after hours again, it just kept crashing again. So yes, there you go. So you've seen about 20%. This earnings, the bar is going to be very high, and I expect a lot of companies that cannot meet the demand that's been set, they will be crashing heavily. That's what I believe will happen. Also, we saw Meta here slowly went below 700. Yeah, and then they had a quick lift for a while. So kind of feel like we had a double top right there. How does it go? And it's just stopped there. We'll see how it goes anyway. But that's today. Also, if you I mean I try to pay attention to the leaders. So, and which is something I've been saying, so do I think this bull do I think it's tapering off at the moment? So we've had Apple all-time highs, but it just couldn't get over it. Let's look at also even Palantir as well. Palantir seemed to have had a good day today after the whole fear from Friday, 7% down. But again, it just couldn't break out. It couldn't get itself out. Just talked about Meta, Microsoft, which I haven't actually looked at today at all. Also looking at Microsoft again, both of them all, I mean, everything is just kind of the charts are looking exact similar. And this was a quiet one. Bitcoin kicks a great all-time high on, or was it on Sunday yesterday? And that was amazing. That was an amazing run. Boom. So yeah, we had a 125 and it's just stayed there. So again, oh, wow, the pivot points just getting higher and higher. So it kind of feels on and off, on and off, on and off. But I feel like the breath is weakening in terms of because even if you're gonna get, I'm not calling for a crash at all. I'm just calling for being risk aware. If we're gonna get a crash, I don't think it will happen immediately. Remember, we still have the government shut down, so this here market doesn't care, and everything just keeps driving. So anyway, you've got to be aware while you're trading, and of course, we're gonna have earnings season upon us very, very soon. AHR tends to be one of the first to be on the drive. And let me just look at the calendar. What does it say? So looking at the calendar, yeah. So tomorrow, so today is just four companies. Tomorrow we've got 7, 8, 9, 10. Interesting, actually. So today four, tomorrow four, Wednesday four, Thursday four, Friday we only have one company. But once we move to next week, let's see what we get. Um, because I'm aware this thing starts from I believe it starts from next week. Yeah. So yeah. So again, so tomorrow it's not giving me the full calendar for some reason. Okay. Right. So yes, I think from next week, then things start kicking off heavier. So yes. So anyway, so sometimes you got to be risk aware, look out for some of these positions that might just collapse and give you that opportunity to get in. There's so many ways to trade a bubble. There's so many ways to trade blow off tops. But also, I think what's more important is that know when to chase and know when not to chase, know when to keep your profits. I think the most important key thing here, like the market wizard used to say, is if you don't have your chips, then you can't play. If you lose all your chips, then you can't play. And if you can't play, then you cannot get involved in the game. But anyway, I'll see you all on the field tomorrow and enjoy your night and